Hi, I would like to talk to you about where our feeling of lack of self-worth, our self-doubt really comes from and what we can do about it. In a certain sense, when we grow up, we develop ideas about who we are. And these ideas are conditioned mainly through our upbringing, but also through the society and culture that we grow up in. And very often we take on these beliefs about who we are without really questioning them, without even realizing that we have them. And it is exactly these beliefs that end up limiting us and putting an invisible straitjacket as to what we can do, where we can go, and especially how we feel about ourselves and what things we dare to do and what things we don't dare to do. And if you dig deeper, you'll realize that in a way there's a level of shame that is mostly hidden. So usually you wouldn't think that you are struggling with shame, but this feeling of not being good enough, of always prioritizing the needs of others instead of your own, maybe feeling even guilty for having your own needs, or maybe not even realizing that you have needs. These are all symptoms, in a way, of this underlying unconscious feeling of shame. And it's interesting to know how this arises, but there's also the other side of the coin of knowing that I will briefly speak to. So as we grow up, we develop this idea of who we have to be. Usually it's in the eyes of our parents, what is expected, what is hoped for. So we internalize this image. We're also told, oh, you are shy, or maybe the opposite, you're very confident and you can achieve anything. Whatever it is, this becomes our internalized model of who we have to be. And whatever this model is, whether it's according to societal norms, a good, functional, successful one, or completely the opposite, the existence of this model is actually what is putting an obstacle in our way of just living life freely and living life from joy and inspiration and creativity. And often our own need to be seen and our own need for validation, when it doesn't get reciprocated from the outside, maybe from our caregivers, our parents, or even at school from teachers, we again from this internalize as if there's something wrong with us. And especially in the caregiving relationship, when you're a child, you're very much dependent on your parents. So from that point of view, your need for attachment is always going to be greater than your internal drive for authenticity. And it's much easier to assume that you're in some way deficient in order to keep this attachment bond with your caregivers. But once you realize that, in a sense, what in online self-help books and so on, the usual trajectory would be to start a healing journey, start working on your trauma, and that certainly can be very helpful. But one mustn't lose oneself in that process. So it can be experienced in a way, oh, now I've discovered this trauma, developmental trauma or some other trauma, now I'm deficient in that way. So it can reinforce the narrative, but in a slightly different way. So going to this path of self-improvement can be a subtler version of this previous unconscious conditioning into following a certain type of identity and certain picture of how you should be. And now the picture changes. Now I have to fix myself. There's something wrong with me in a different way. So what the important thing, the thing to realize, is that that healing journey in itself could turn into a subtler version of this ego mechanism of trying to be something that you are not. And as soon as you recognize that, you can drop it. So the freedom that we're all looking for is available in the present moment, in the now. And just resting in your own being. And from there, finding out where inspiration takes you, what it is that gives you joy and purpose in life. And pursuing that, but in a way that allows external circumstances to come to you, and not only through pushing and pulling and working hard. As soon as you find that in yourself, and this conditioning arises from the collective consciousness, you just, every time it arises, you drop it. So this is my message for today. The healing journey that you're on, thread that with care and with gentleness, and don't make that into another ideal that will hopefully in years' time take you somewhere. The freedom that you seek is available right now just by sinking into your true nature, into yourself, and being aware of the present moment, being aware of your being. And in that sinking backwards into yourself, the conditioning is seen. The conditioning may take a while to dissipate, but that's no problem. And you discover a deeper level that you can live from. And from there, there's endless possibilities, and life becomes an adventure. So thank you for watching, and I will be curious how the previous exercise of giving a week of effortless being went for you, and if you found something interesting in what I have had to say today. Thank you.